sit back, relax a little bit. Let me tell you a story. See if yours is anything like mine. Remember when I was a kid? So much better when I popped the lid. Feel the rap or open it up.
Exactly, listen to Shawnee. Right, and Cash Out's the easy way to get money transferred when y'all with friends. So hop into that and then we'll get back to it.
He said, baby, jump in the back, boy. Tailgate crazy.
Tailgate crazy. Jump in the back, boy.
Jump on in this bus because it's huge.
Woo! What's up, guys? Welcome back for another exciting episode of Fantasy Reports. Feels like we just saw you because we did Sunday night. But it's Tuesday night. We are back. We had to come at you right before the draft. I'm your bus driver, Cedric. I got the co-pilot, Justin, over there. What up, Justin?
Oh, just enjoying this nice weather finally up here. Finally getting some sun, getting outside, some fresh air. And work was pretty dope today. It was pretty chill. So that was pretty cool for a Monday because Mondays are a little bit rougher than others. But nonetheless, it's been a great day. I've been having a great night. How about you, Ced?
It's been amazing. I actually had a great day as well. My Monday was pretty legit. Today was actually a little better. But yeah, no, it was a good day. I think getting ready for this NFL draft. So that's a good thing, and just really man, happy to be here and happy to be a part of this. It's a good one, man.
Doing well after the Nuggets last night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm trying to avoid,
I was gonna say.
zen out, trying to zen out, you know what I mean, and not think about it.
I don't know if I can forgive Aaron Gordon for missing that dunk. 10 times out of 10, he makes that dunk.
Especially when you lose by 2 points, right? Sucks. That's hard.
Yeah.
Joker, going 0-2 at the free throw line. It's hard.
Yeah, that was unusually odd for him to be so off at the free throw line. But
the Murray
that's for later topic. We'll get into NBA later, but I just thought I'd check it on you.
Yeah, we don't
that
even
stunner.
need to. That was. Anyway, guys, welcome here for a Tuesday night episode of Fantasy Reports. Here we're talking some football. As we said, we got the draft coming up, the NFL draft. So we're gonna do I guess you could say our last mock draft here on Fantasy Reports before the
last
draft.
one. This is it.
Man, it's going kind of quickly. I remember our way too early mock draft. Feels like it was yesterday. It's just a couple months
and
ago.
all those rankings and overalls and all that fun stuff.
All that fun stuff, which we'll be bringing back up. But tonight we'll be doing that mock draft before the mock draft. And you know how we do over here on Fantasy Reports. We hit you with that promo before we get right into it. So we'll go ahead and go to that Shady Sports promo, and then we'll come back and get into it, guys. So hit that like button, hit that share button. Please subscribe, tell your friends about it, and let's get it going. Yes, sir. You see it, man. Shady Sports Network. Head over to shadysportsnetwork.com or wherever you go to your social media, Shady Sports Network, you can find us. And we got way more than NFL, NBA talk. We got AAL, we got Arena League, Indoor Football Leagues, all types of football leagues, including the ENT Football League, the Entertainment Football League that I cover every Wednesday night with TJ over here in Shady Sports. So head over to Shady Sports Network. You can find all of our stuff. But tonight here on Fantasy Reports, man, like I said, we're talking NFL. And we're talking the mock draft. So
we're talking a draft before the draft.
From our perspective. Before the draft, from our perspective. And I know hopefully I get the Broncos in my pick, but at least from my picks is what I would.
I know you were kind of robbed that Sunday. You lost. Jordan stole your thunder there, and he took my Lions too. So, or you took my Lions. Someone else got it.
I took your Lions. I had to steal your thunder.
It's all good. Well, tonight I will let you have. Tonight you will have your Broncos pick.
Hey, you heard it, guys. He said he'll let me have it. So if it comes down to it, it's mine. Don't care what he says. He says it's mine. But yeah, no. Tonight we'll be doing our latest and our last. All right. quarterback for sure. So, guys, let us know what you think. Let us know how we do, how we did, how it's going, and how you're feeling about this.
Let us
mock
know
draft.
your team, who you want to see your team picking in the draft.
Right? Because it can be.
Throw it in there in the chat, guys. If you're a Ravens fan, who do you want the Ravens to take? Or if you want them to trade up, let us know your take, what you feel on your team's NFL draft round 1 coming into this year. I think, we want to do 3 rounds tonight, 2 rounds, 1 round?
I think we're going to do 2 rounds tonight.
2?
Yeah.
Perfect. First 2 rounds. Arguably the most important rounds of the NFL draft, the most exciting.
Besides the 6th round, right?
Oh yeah. If you got teams with good GMs, they dig and find those gems in the rough or whatever, and they find those players that become stars.
Yeah, that's what we want, right? Those are the ones,
Yeah. So if you guys aren't familiar, we're using the Pro Football Sports Network mock draft simulator.
Yep.
Not sponsored by any means.
ProFootballNetwork.com. Nope. They're sponsored by ProFootballNetwork.com, not Shady Sports, not Fantasy Reports. We use them and we're seeing how they work. That's what we'll say. But yeah, no. How about this? You'll go first, my dude. I'll let you take the first pick.
All right. Well, the first pick in the draft, as if you guys already didn't know today, there's rumors going around that the Tennessee Titans have already notified Cam Ward privately that they will be selecting him first overall in this 2025 NFL draft. And here I will be doing the same for the Tennessee Titans. I will have them taking a quarterback as their biggest need, largest need. And what that means for Cam Ward, he'll be inheriting a mess. He'll be coming into a situation where the offense lacks identity. It lacks a system, an effective passing game. And, I don't know, Seth, what do you think? A mediocre to, average run game on offense that I think Cam Ward will definitely help out and definitely contribute right away immediately in there. So it's up to the coaching staff to develop that young man, give him the best possible chance to succeed and thrive as a Tennessee Titan so he doesn't end up becoming another Vince Young.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I like Tony Pollard at Tennessee. I like what they're doing with him and what's the backup running back? Gosh, I can't think of his name.
Tajay Spears.
I think they're a good combination. So I could see, honestly, Cam Ward has a really quick release, and he's a fairly accurate quarterback, which he's going to need to be. So everyone's saying, he's definitely going to need to be that behind that line that. Maybe we'll see a line that won't be able to block. Do you think the Tennessee
Titans will build around Cam Ward and they'll need to build around Cam Ward? Or do you think that Cam Ward will have to adopt their system and try to run their offense and how they want to do things?
Dang, that's a good question, right? Dang. I feel like I would like to see them try to build around him if they're going to pick him with the first pick and they told him. Unlike the Bears, who waited a year. I want to see them do it right away. Yeah, especially if you're gonna put it out there like that. Yeah. If you're gonna put it out there like that, you might as well build around them.
What do you think they end up doing then with Will Levis? I know they clicked Malik Willis out of town last season to the Packers. What do you think they do with him this year by taking Cam Ward first overall? Do they trade him later on?
So yeah, we sorry. I didn't even.
No, you're totally fine.
I saw a report on ESPN saying that Will Levis is one of the guys that could be shopped around. And I think you put something out there like that too on our Facebook group, on the Fantasy Reports Facebook group, saying that Will Levis is one of the guys also that we could see shopped around.
I did. I saw some news out there, so I posted up on our Facebook group and in our Discord channel. So guys, after the show here, you hop off. Feel free to go check us out over there on Facebook at Fantasy Reports on Facebook, and then on the Discord channel, Shady Sports Network, talking content under the NFL channel. You'll find me over there.
So, I think if they're going to take a Cam Ward, we could see them try to move a Will Levis, especially if they have like a Joe Flacco or another solid vet back there as well. They don't really need a Will Levis.
Well, they recently brought in one Tim Boyle, Mr. Offseason, Mr. Preseason, who rises and shines during the least important games of the season.
Yeah, so Sounds like they're definitely geared to take a quarterback. I don't think they saw what Will Levis can do. I don't think they're riding with Will Levis anymore. Quite honestly,
they're not into that mayonnaise stuff anymore. They don't want their quarterback putting mayo in their coffee and stuff.
Yeah, that's weird. Like,
what do you like in your coffee? I'm just
in my coffee,
a regular
not mayo. I just like sugar. I like to put hot sauce in my coffee, and I take it
just
with a
start
side
off
of
real
dirt.
spicy. Get my hot takes going for the show later.
Right. No. All right. Moving on. So
Sets pick. What are you doing for the Browns? Save them, said. Save the Browns.
The Browns. Man.
What direction would you like them to go?
What direction would I like the Browns to go?
If you were the GM, you're the guy calling the shots. What are you thinking here? You re-sign Myles Garrett. You extend him for the rest of his life. You brought in Kenny Pickett, Super Bowl champion Kenny Pickett, I might add, and you also brought back Mr. Joe Flacco. So, hey, now they're a bunch of all-stars.
Shedeur Sanders.
Really? Really going quarterback. They're diving in the water. So
diving in the waters.
So
they need to build towards their future with a young quarterback. With the young quarterback contract, especially after paying Myles Garrett so much money, they're gonna have to build pieces around whoever they do bring in. So I don't see why it makes. I mean, I guess Joe Flacco kind of makes sense. You can get him on a vet minimum.
Well, he's the only quarterback that's brought him to the playoffs in the last handful of years. So
very true. And they still have Deshaun Watson too. We forget they still have Deshaun Watson on there.
And what do you think they most likely move on from after this season? Now they bring in this rookie quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, that you drafted for them. Yep. They have Flacco there as a backup. And then how do you feel about the offensive pieces if they take Shedeur? Like, you trust in Jerry Jeudy for fantasy? You like in David Njoku, maybe a Cedric Tillman on your fantasy teams?
I am digging them. As long as that line can block, I am feeling it. And then the running back, oof.
Yeah, because Chubb's a free agent now. He's testing the market, and all they have is Jerome Ford and Jerome Ford. Those are their two backs that they're going to be rotating. So maybe later on in this draft, they end up taking a running back to supplement that room, or invest in protecting their new quarterback here that says drafted Shedeur Sanders and get themselves a tackle or a guard. Keep them upright.
Yep. So, and they still have quite a bit of early picks. You know, they have pick number 33, unless they turn around and try to maybe move up because they took
make some magic, trade for one of those teams there in the back end of the first round.
Yeah,
get back in
it, and then they pick up their lineman. So they try to pick up an offensive tackle or maybe a guard or even maybe a center. You know, I don't know if there's any centers where they're moving up for, but definitely some tackles and some guards here in the first round.
So as I was talking with Seth off air here earlier today, I threw him a little spicy salsa take his way about where I see this draft going and where a certain player is going to end up here on this draft board. And I'm going to take him right now going to the New York Giants. I feel like they're going to reload, wash themselves clean of the old Saquon Barkley situation and draft their new franchise generational talent, Ashton Genty, running back.
Oh, man.
Their overall pick. And they're going to pair him up with Mr. Unlimited and Malik Neighbors, Wan'Dale Robinson, Theo Johnson, those guys, and just try to have a high-powered offense. And, you know,
and they got Jameis Winston, too.
Yes, Jameis Winston, too. And I think they're just going to want to, you know, cleanse the palate, leave that bad taste out of your mouth, because to me, said, what's a better way to do that than taking the best running back in the draft, taking the best one available, getting him on a rookie contract, and putting him behind one of those quarterbacks that you have there to give them a little bit more firepower to work with.
Dang, that's a solid first three picks, though. I mean, that's a pretty.
And I literally said I can see this happening on Thursday. I can see this board right here. It's going this way.
No, totally. Because I think the Browns are pretty much tired. I mean, you heard the GM come out and say that, you know, it was a bad deal. He felt it was a bad move trading for Deshaun. And the Titans need to reload at quarterback, and like you said, the Giants are seeing Saquon just being rubbed in the face every single
Man, would
day
that be
now.
wild
So.
too? And then you see Ashton Genty succeed in New York when he gets there, and that maybe those memories fall out of Giants fans. Like, okay, that sucks. We lost Saquon, but now we got our future running back. We got our guy, and he's going to help win us some games.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see who you take here for the Patriots.
Oh, well, I mean, you know who I'm
do it
taking
after
for the Patriots.
promo.
You know who I'm taking for the Patriots.
Do you want to run it after the promo?
Yeah.
Hit these guys with a little palate cleanser. Let them sit on our first 3 picks. Let them look here. And Chad, feel free to welcome in, chime in. Let us know your thoughts. What your first 3 picks of this draft look like, or what you like or don't like. And sit back and enjoy the promo here. So it'll fire up and we'll get back into it.
Yeah. Hit that like button too.
Oh, yes.
My name is Anton Popov, and this is my 6th year of college football. Training during the hottest times of the day is a recipe for muscle cramps, which is why electrolytes are so important. Hydration is crucial for my performance. Dragon Salt eliminates muscle cramps and boosts your overall energy level. Whether it's a weight room or field session, I fuel up with Dragon Salt beforehand. It's been a game changer for me, and it'll be a game changer for you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I could use some of that tonight going up, doing my walk with the family, getting a little extra boost to my workout, keeping up with the kiddo, that fun stuff. So, yeah, guys, if you're looking to get more active and get a workout going, be the inner athlete you see in yourself, feel free to add some Dragon Salt to your routine and use our code to save some money.
Dragon, DRGN, Salt. Do it. Just do it. And use our code, like you said, specifically Shady Sports. But yeah, man. Gosh, I was thinking, I was like, dang, maybe. I don't know if I should. But I think.
Did we make you second guess yourself during the promo there? You were thinking maybe, oh shit, I don't
know. Yeah. And I was like, what if if I were the Pats and I was like, oh, they're doing all that, you know what I mean? I might as well just go ahead and pick up a Tyler Warren.
Oh, snap. Nice. What's your process there? Where do you see how Tyler Warren fits?
So I was gonna go
Patriots.
Dang, we got over 40,000 views on YouTube in the last 28 days on Shady Sports Network. Let's go. Almost 300,000 views last 90 days.
Thank you to all who've chimed in, who've checked us out, who've liked us, shared us. You're so appreciated, and we love you guys. Keep coming back.
Let's rock with it, lean with it. Hey, my process though, like I said, I was gonna go with Travis Hunter because I was like, well, dang, Drake May is solid, man. I don't know if you guys saw what I saw at the end of last season, but I saw a quarterback that was sliding his way into the Rookie of the Year race, and he didn't even start until week 7, week 13. I don't even know.
And he had pretty much nobody. His rookie wide receivers were
receiver?
Middle of the road, nobody impactful. I mean, he had Keyshawn Butte, he had Demario Douglas, he had Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, and he had the ghost of KJ Osborne.
See, so I was like,
but he also had Hunter Henry, who's a tight end who's going.
Yeah, but I mean, it's an aging tight end too. Look at.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why this pick is perfect for the Patriots because he gets to get mentored behind an aging, end of his career tight end that can show him the ropes, get him used to the system, the offense, and then watch him take off in year 2. Like I think it's a good situation. Got a good young quarterback to pair with them.
Well, it makes sense to use 2 tight ends as well, too, because they do have an okay running game. I mean, it's not the best of running games, but it's okay. And like I said, I mean, Drake May he's probably one of the better quarterbacks going into the league this year. So I think Go ahead, finish your thought. Well, I was going to say, we still haven't seen, there's still a lot of moves to be made. Like we said, we're going to probably see some trades. So who's to say that we're not going to see some more wide receivers traded? And I think there's enough wide receivers later in the draft too, where the Pats could still come back and pair another young receiver in there too. to kind of come and bolster that offense. But I don't think them having a young receiving core is necessarily a bad thing.
Absolutely. To piggyback back off what you said about the running game, had Ashton Genty fallen to them at 4, do you think they could have went that route with the state of their running game?
Definitely.
Their running game?
Oh, imagine if they did go that route with how good Drake May looked last year with a nothing offense. Imagine just instilling a powerful running back into that mix. And now it's like, oh gosh, what are you gonna do? Because either one of those options can run, and one of them can throw pretty darn good. So how are you gonna guard against this team? Now all of a sudden that division isn't looking so that tough, right? Especially in the next 5 years. Especially in the next 5 years, you're looking like, dang, maybe we could snatch this back in the next 2 or 3 years. Who knows, man?
That pick there with Tyler Warren, that's good. I think that fits right because he's probably a tier up from those other running backs that are farther back down here in the draft order. I think taking Tyler Warren over one of those running backs is probably the better decision where you have them at 4 in this draft, because I feel he'll fit right in with a young quarterback and a new coach and getting into that system right away and taking out. It might not be like an immediate bloom. You might see it start to like come around halfway through the year, later on in the season. Where
and even they could come back too and
how the season's going.
Well, they could still come back and take a running back again in the second round or the third round. They don't have to, I think they're draft is so running back deep that like you don't even need to get one of the top 5 guys. Quite honestly, I think the Patriots could
so I like that.
Rebuild their roster. They could completely rebuild their team in this draft. A couple teams could. All these teams in the top 10, honestly, they could probably completely rebuild their offenses. But
so I'll take that gift you left for the Jaguars at 5, and I will go with Travis Hunter to them. They can take that wide receiver, because over this offseason, if you know, they lost Evan Ingram. He went over to Ced's Broncos. He wanted to go hang out with Bo Nix. And they lost Christian Kirk to the Texans. They traded him off. So really all he got now is Brian Thomas Jr. and a bunch of Jags, no pun intended. There's some other guys there. And they're looking for another pass catcher for Trevor Lawrence to throw to. And I think Travis Hunter, if he plays offense and a wide receiver like he wants to do, I think that'll only help that situation. And they got their new coach there, Liam Cohen, coming from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their offensive coordinator, working with Baker Mayfield and those wide receivers. I feel like a Travis Hunter going to the Jaguars, he'll help him develop, help him grow into his game as a wide receiver. And who knows, maybe on that other side of the ball, if they need it, they want to switch it up or add some flair down there in Florida, they put him on the defensive side of the ball too and give him some reps.
Well, they will have to put him on the defensive side of the ball, right? Then he said he was either playing both sides of the ball, he retired, so he's going to get some snaps on the defensive side of the ball no matter where he goes.
So this is interesting. We leave Ced with his favorite team, the Raiders.
Yeah.
What are you going to do for the Raiders here? And you can't take a punter like Sunday. You can't take a kicker. You can't do that. So,
well, I mean,
put on your
honestly,
GM
with the Raiders, you might as well go and try to shore up your offensive line if you're going to have Geno Smith back there.
Okay.
So I'd probably go with one of these
process.
Yeah.
Which one do you like more? The one out of Missouri, the one out of Ohio State?
I'm gonna go Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas.
Okay, you like your SEC boys.
Yeah, I mean, plus they came over into the SEC and proved that they could play with the big boys, meaning, I could just see any, those players going over to the next level and proving that they can play at the next level, which right now the Raiders need they need more than just a bunch of Jags, right? They need a bunch of guys that proves that they can play and they can hang at the next level.
So you wouldn't necessarily think they need to shore up their trenches first, be able to protect and attack on either side of the ball over getting like a running back or a wide receiver early to try to
they don't need to get fancy
flowing through that offense.
Yeah, and it's Pete Carroll. He knows he doesn't need to get fancy. He doesn't need to go early to get fancy either. They need to, they need to build it up and make sure that they have Geno Smith covered if they're gonna have him back there, because he's not exactly a young spry chicken. So they want to make sure they have time for him to get it out to, a Brock Bowers or a Jacoby Myers. They want to make sure that they have time, or that they have, I can't think of their running backs right now, but and then like
Amir
I said,
White and
and like they can still, like, the way that the running back position is, quite honestly, they can still come back in the second to third round and pick up that position as well too, with a good player that'll get some solid touches. So I don't think they need to jump exactly right now for that. And I mean, why not? If you got a chance to show up your line, you want to get those lines on both sides of the ball shored up and make sure you have that anchor going, especially in this division, man. It's honestly, this division might be up for the taking. So if you kind of have the right pieces in place,
the Eagles showed that the Chiefs are mortal. They actually do, in fact, bleed.
And I mean, like, shout out to 420 Rizza. I mean, I could go a Judkins.
Hey, 420 Rizza, thanks for tuning in with us.
Yeah, I could see the Raiders going to Judkins. That would have been a prime pick for them, just to reload on their running back room. They already have the tight end, they have their quarterback in place. And if you get a running back in there, now you got solid position. But man, I don't know. I think they just kind of have options.
Yeah, I'm thinking if Genty is off the board for sure, I would definitely at 5 go ahead and take Judkins as another running back option for sure. Regardless of being a super flex league or a tight end premium, I don't think it's much of a reach, because depending on your running back room, what you have rolling, if you have like one of those aging veterans or a pair of those, it doesn't hurt to have depth. I mean, if you're a contender or you're pushing to make a contention from being a rebuild or in between team last year, there's nothing wrong with trying to shore up your team, add some depth, and taking it's not even a flyer, taking an educated guess or educated risk on a running back like Judkins to shore up your running back room. And at the very least, you can throw him in your flex if he's doing really well, or just keep him on your bench, let the season develop, see how things go along, and if things are going well, you can use one of those other older running backs that you have on your roster to trade and go elsewhere, or you can use Judkins as fire up to start.
I like it. Yeah, I got no issue with that, because he's going to get some touches for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, let's take a promo really quick. And then
yes, sir. Come back and hit the Jets.
Away. Yeah, I'm getting yelled at by my cat, so I'm gonna see if I can grab a snack, and then we'll come back and we'll see what the
perfect. Yeah, if you're still gone, I'll run it with the Jets, run through my pick, and do all that.
All right, perfect. Cool. All right, cool. I'll be right back, guys. Hit that like button. Right, yes, do it.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody, on Shady Sports Network. You're watching Fantasy Reports, doing our live mock draft right before the NFL draft comes underway here on Thursday night. Right now, we've had our first 6 picks done, and we're on to the Jets at number 7 pick. I have a lot to think about here with the Jets at number 7. They can go a number of different ways. Their new head coach coming from the Lions, he's a defensive coach, so maybe they're thinking more defensive-minded, attacking one of these juicy prospects that are still sitting here on the draft board, or maybe keeping that flair going and try to get some flashy, big, high-ceiling players on offense. But first, I want to thank 420 Rizza for your question. Thanks for chiming in and tuning in with us. I appreciate that. And For anybody else out there, if you got any questions about your teams and whatnot, feel free. You're more than welcome to ask them and throw them up on here, and we'll attack them as they come through. But said, the Jets over here at number 7. I think
the Jets.
I think with the new defensive coach in town, they get the best available defensive player here in the draft. They go Abdul Carter.
Probably the second best player in the draft, right? Behind Travis Hunter.
I think for them, this is a luxury pick. He fell to them. And this will start that gangrene smash them attack over there on the defensive side of the ball again. And I think it's a great fit over there in New York. They need some help rushing the passer if they're going to have the likes of Tua and Josh Allen and Drake May running all over the place for their lives. Get a guy like Abdul Carter to keep them in the pocket and keep them on their backs.
There we go. And then, I mean, just following in that same fashion, I mean, I think I'm going to turn around and go, with probably the third or fourth best player in the draft for the Panthers, in the sense of that they're kind of in almost the same boat of the Jets, just looking at it from a different direction, right? A younger quarterback, maybe a younger defense. You just need the shorter defense off. They don't have a proven defense, but they have an okay defense. But just in that division, and actually, now that I think about it, I'm going to go with Will Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, can you undo it? Shit.
I don't know. Let's see. Fat fingered it.
Oh.
Well, no. they got a wide receiver then.
Your mind told you Will Johnson, but your body's like, no, give him Tet McMillan.
Yep, they got Tet McMillan then. 6'4" wide receiver.
Let's make the pitch. Let's explain this to the guys why this works, why it would work for them taking Tet.
Does Carolina have a true wide receiver one right now?
I say they do not.
Exactly. I would say they do not. Especially for the fact of you look at it. What's his name from Minnesota? What's his name? The older receiver. He's pretty much led their team.
They got Adam Thielen still there.
Adam Thielen's pretty much led their team in receiving like the past 2 seasons, and he was hurt half of last season. They don't really have a true big body wide receiver one. I think this guy would come in and be a great target for Bryce Young. They already have the running core in place, man, and turn around and give them a target or two on the offensive side of the ball. They can become a very deadly team. Especially in a division that prides themselves on not being able to stop the pass.
Right. Just keep putting up points. What better confidence boost it is they're giving Bryce Young a nice young core of receivers with Tet McMillan, Jalen Coker, Xavier Legette, and then the old dog on the playground, Adam Thielen, to really bring those guys in, give a launching off point for Bryce Young to take his game to the next step, take the game to the next level, and give them that opportunity to be able to compete in games in the NFC South and make games shootouts, make them competitive, make the other team work for it. If they know that the Panthers have this big star wide receiver now on their team, they're going to get him the ball and get him in the end zone scoring points.
Exactly. And you can see that happening. Like we said, we saw Bryce Young come into his own last season. So
not too bad for sausage fingering it.
Yep. That was a good pick. Heck yeah. So,
the Panthers.
What do we got for the Panthers then? Or for the Saints?
Well, let's run through Riz's thing here. So he has the 1 and 5 pick in this draft. So you're going Genti at 1. You're currently starting Herbert, Stroud, Gibbs, Kyron Jetta, James. Wow, that is a strong lineup, my dude. Well done roster constructing. Where to go at 5? Well, if I were to take a long, hard look here, what you've given me before, I'm assuming these are all your starters going into this year. And I'm not very confident that Kelsey has that much more tread left on the tires. And I'm not confident in what Kincaid is going to do in his development and his building with Josh Allen, if he's going to take the next step or if he's just going to be plateaued. And this is the Kincaid we know. So I would be mine at 5. I think Ced did that here with one of the earlier picks. I would go Tyler Warren at your 5 pick if you're taking Genti at your 1. Because I think you have a good, solid wide receiver room. Jetta, Jameson, and more.
Go Loveland.
Yeah, and then
Loveland's gonna be that rug burner, man. Loveland's gonna be that field
true,
stretcher.
very true too. So me
I'd
and
go
Seth
Colson
here
Loveland.
in agreement that we would go tight end for you at 5, either Loveland or Warren. The pair up with Genty.
I mean,
that
actually,
will really
you can kind of go
solidify the foundation.
Yeah, I heard Tat McMillan, honestly, depending on where he goes.
Because I would take one of those tight. Yeah, so I like that. I like that for you, Riza. I would take personally it would be more me would be Warren, but said with Loveland. So yeah, I think that. Yeah, I agree with Riza. I think Kincaid is more of like your largest liability on your roster lineup so far at the moment.
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't hurt going tight end either, said, because how many more years do you think Kelsey has left performing at the level that we know him to be at? Like, even if he doesn't retire, but be able to.
No, he has Jason Kelsey in his ear every day saying, "Bro, do you see how much money I'm making just showing up today to work in a suit and a tie? I work for 5 hours. I make as much as you." I think he has one more.
This guy is a fantasy genie here. Look at you. See this? He wins the league and trades up to 1 and 5. Dude, well done. Like, that is impressive. Not many people can pull it off.
So I'll
you
tell
did
you how I'm doing. Well, I traded out of one way before the season started. Yeah, I didn't think I was.
But no, I'm impressed. Well done. That was awesome. That's an awesome year.
Yeah, man. Congratulations. 420 Rizza. Yeah. So keep this draft going.
Number 7. Or wait, where are we at? 9? 9. Wow. This is where I think the draft can take a fork in the road of what direction it's going to go, because I don't know about you, Chad. I don't know about you, Said. What is the biggest need for the Saints? What do you want to attack first? You got Kellen Moore coming in, new coach, new system being run. What's their identity going to be? They got an aging defense that's not quite elite, but they're not poor. They're just middle of the road, humming it. Same guys year after year. On offense, the Saints got Kamara. They got Olave. Shaheed emerged last year. They got Juwan Johnson. Taysom Hill still doing his thing, being all over the place. And they got Kendre Miller coming back from injury. Hopefully he stays healthy. He's a young back. But, you could go a number of different ways for the Saints here. And seeing how this draft is going and the Panthers taking Tet McMillan right before you, saying, oh, man, okay, they're going offense. All right, well, I'm going to go and counter that and take Will Johnson, quarterback from Michigan, and have him matched up against Tet McMillan going up this year and for future matchups. Have him be the Marshawn Lattimore to Mike Evans for the Saints. Have him be that shutdown corner. Have him be that guy to take out the other team's number one option and try to eliminate any sort of breakaway games and having blowouts happen over the top. So I know they need quarterback. I know they need a lot of other things, but if what the Panthers do, what you've done here at 8, and they attack offense, I feel you got to counterpunch that as the Saints and do some damage control and draft on defense accordingly.
Okay. That is good. I think that was actually a really good pick.
I'm so glad you got the Bears here at the next pick, because I was going to send them a kicker.
The Bears. Well, I'm looking at the Bears, right? And I mean, man,
they did an amazing job attacking the offensive line and bringing veterans in there and shoring up, protecting Caleb Williams, getting rid of that, 67 sacks last year, having a very below average year as a rookie. I know we all had hype and expectations for him. He was going to come in, light it up, but it just turned out to be that the coaching staff and the system he had in place in front of him wasn't the best thing for him. It wasn't the direction they want to go. So they retooled, brought new coaches in, brought in new staff, and really attacked free agency on the defensive line and on the offensive line to protect him, and then also keep games competitive so he doesn't have to play hero ball in his second year or play a lot of games from behind and play catch up, having some rushers that can attack the quarterbacks, but also have some linemen to keep his ass up so he's not getting knocked on his back every other play and, increasing the risk for injury. That being said, where do you think you'd go with Bears?
Well, with that being said, man, I'm just looking and I see, Bears, they've been showing it, like you said, they showed it.
Oh, man.
And the only thing is kind of the same thing that kind of weighed.
Trying to find their Jahmyr Gibbs.
Man, it's kind of the same thing that weighed on the Eagles. DeAndre Swift just is not all the way that guy.
So how do you feel for DeAndre Swift from fantasy this year? Are you drafting him? Are you staying away from him? Or have you ever liked DeAndre Swift? Where do you have him?
Oh, man, I had him when he was on the Eagles because they were trying to use him. He's just not all the way that guy. He's not
any Drake London you?
To be used as that guy. No. He got solid points, but it was just the guy. Nothing too wild.
So going into this year for fantasy, are you pursuing DeAndre Swift? Are you avoiding him? Or are you just trying to,
Maybe if I saw him later in the draft, I might pick him up or take him on a flyer, right? If I see him as a free agent and I need a running back for a bye week.
Okay.
But probably not. Probably avoiding him. Which is why I'm gonna go Amarion Hampton for the Bears.
Nice.
And we're dreaming big because you are gonna need some playmakers in that backfield to compete with the Jahmyr Gibbs, to compete with the what's the big boy's name over at Green Bay?
Josh Jacobs.
You see these stellar running back rooms that are getting.
Don't forget about my champion Aaron Jones over there in Minnesota. He's still hanging out
in Minnesota. Don't forget David Montgomery backing up over there, and the Lions. That's 4 solid running backs right there, and then you got DeAndre Swift, right? Like RZA said, "Thank you." Ha ha. If I'm the Browns,
you're welcome, RZA.
The Bears, the Browns, same team, same stain, right? No, but
I love it.
I'm going to Marion Hampton. Big body running back, but also, man, this guy can move. And I think with them just bolstering up that offensive line, it makes way to be able to open up some holes for this guy. And then Caleb Williams is about to show us some things this year. He was about to make y'all say, "What?"
You think so?
Yeah, I know so.
Well, some would argue that it couldn't get any worse. So let's hope for that.
Exactly.
For Bears fans.
Exactly.
And, people who have Caleb Williams in fantasy.
It can't get no worse, man. So they've been doing everything they can to make it better. So I expect to see them get better, and that's what's going to happen. And that's what I got to say about that.
Yeah. I hear you. So that rounds off the top 10. You want to run us through them, the first 10 picks that we have in the NFL draft here for our mock?
Yeah, man. Tennessee Titans, you went Cam Ward, 6'2" quarterback out of Miami. Cam Ward's a quarterback won in the NFL 2025 draft. Pick 2, went with 6'1" quarterback out of Colorado, Shedeur Sanders. I don't know. Maybe it's a conspiracy that I'm in Colorado. I picked a quarterback from Colorado. Whatever, it can be what it was. But I'm saying he's the number 1 quarterback in this draft. They say it's Cam Ward, but Shedeur Sanders 2 to the Browns, 3 to the Giants. Boo, big pick, replacing Saquon because all they heard last year was, "Why didn't you pay Saquon?"
All I heard about.
And look at this. So they're like, "Okay,
anyway,
this is why we didn't pay Saquon."
Won the Super Bowl.
We saw this guy coming out. Exactly. He ran for 2,600 yards. He's going to show you what's up. All right. Then 4, the Pats. Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State. Big body tight end, 6'5", 256 pounds. Big boy. Potential top 10 pick.
Man, another weapon.
Hey, man, they're trying to strike gold. They're hoping to get their Brock Bowers. Number 5, Jags went Travis Hunter. How'd he fall so low? How'd he fall? What is this? What's going on? Travis Hunter, 6'1", athlete, right? That's what I label him as, athlete out of Colorado. He plays wide receiver, plays cornerback, plays quarterback, plays lineman, plays whatever he wants to play. He even plays Xbox. Or no, plays PlayStation. All right. 6, the Raiders. They went lineman, Kelvin Banks. Possibly second or third best offensive tackle in this draft, but coming out of Texas, probably the best equipped for the next level lineman out of this draft. And it says it on the first line. Kelvin Banks Jr. has all the physical attributes needed to be a high level, not just a starting offensive lineman, but a high level starting offensive lineman at the NFL level. So I think that would be an amazing pick, especially for a team
plug
that
and
just
play.
really needs to, just plug and play. They have an amazing plug and play tight end that they got last year. Get an amazing plug and play lineman and just give your quarterback a bit more time, cover a strong side, and just set it and forget it. All right, number 7, Jets. You went Abdul Carter, possibly the second or first best player, however you look at it, in this draft. 6'3", 250, defensive edge, linebacker, lineman, whatever you want to call him. He can probably play 2 or 3, even probably maybe put him back there,
quarterback attacker,
and just let him roam. Yeah, tackling fuel. Give him that tackling fuel. Let him just go out there and go. That's a scary pick to whatever team he goes to. I could actually see maybe if he's last in the pick 7, there's probably a couple teams that have got on the phone, made some calls, and tried to trade up and go for him. But yeah, Abdul Carter, number 7, Jets. Number 8, Ted McMillan to the Panthers, wide receiver out of Arizona, possibly the best receiver in the draft. I think the Panthers would be salivating if this guy dropped to them, and they would gladly snatch him up. Just a huge, big body receiver, man, and that wide receiver 1 that they need to come in and just get their offense right, especially when they got Chubby back there and running the ball.
That's a cute nickname.
Number 9, the Saints. Saints are like, okay, you want to go offense? Well, we'll be counterproductive. We'll counteract that. We'll come back and attack as well on the defense.
Meant to do, and we'll take it for ourselves.
Right? Like, one man's trash is another man's treasure, right? Will Johnson, cornerback out of Michigan, possibly one of the best defensive backs in this draft for sure. Man, this guy is gonna. I mean, this is probably Pat Surtain 3.0, if you ask me.
That's a good comp.
I mean, and you think about it, just look at all of the offensive talent in this draft coming out of Ohio State, coming out of the Big Ten or whatever conference those guys are in that aren't the SEC. But it's crazy to be saying a cornerback out of Michigan is probably one of the better cornerbacks in this draft. But he's that dude for sure. So got him going to the Saints, kind of probably turn around and help their offense or their defense. Then with the Bears, decided, hey, they've been bolstering up their line. They've been bolstering up their offensive pieces and their defensive pieces. So let's go with Marion Hampton and get that running back room right, and get a true running back 1 in that backfield. And like you said, line up and beat a Jamar Gibbs to a David Montgomery. So, granted, I feel like DeAndre Swift would be more comparable to Jamar Gibbs in size, but I think this guy would be more so to running back 1, so he would be more so to Jamar Gibbs. And that rounds out that top
DeAndre
10.
Swift off the side. All right, so kicking off the second half of the 10s, we got the 49ers sitting here. Oh, you read my mind, Canadian 2 Mohawk, because the guy I was going to go with for the 49ers was one Will Campbell, tackle. With who's that guy in the that offensive lineman they have there that's really good? Is it Trent Williams? I think. So. I think this guy will be his replacement. He'll be the one protecting Brock Purdy when they, I think, will extend him, re-sign him long term, and have them as their franchise quarterback for a while. And I think this Will Campbell guy is a good fit here. Start retooling in the trenches, get that offensive line solidified again and working. So, give Christian McCaffrey some running lanes, let him run cleanly through the tackles. And I think this is just it's a good fit for the 49ers. It's not flashy. It's not, big splash. It's just simple, effective, and I think it's a good longevity piece for the 49ers to take.
Especially with Trent Williams kind of getting up there in age too. It's good to go ahead and start to reload and switch it out and turn around. And I think the 49ers are kind of in that reload, turn around, wash your hands, and start over again stage, figuring out where they are.
Not a rebuild, you just got to reload.
Yes, I mean they have the quarterback, right? They have the pieces in place. They still have the line. They still have the tight end. They still have the receiving core. They still have the running back room. We got CMC, for God's Christ's sake, So definitely not a rebuild.
Got to give that superstar some holes.
Yeah, man. Got to give him some holes. He said he has no injury designations going into training camp. So
yeah, what do you say today? I thought I saw a sleeper notification for it.
Yeah, there was a sleeper notification from CMC saying that he's pretty much completely healthy. He's ready to go, man. We'll see him go off in the training camp and get it going. Is that scary for the league or what? You know what I mean? A healthy CMC, is that everybody reaching to draft the CMC?
Oh, yeah, I don't know if
are you drafting CMC?
I don't think he'd be a reach. I mean,
if he's available,
if the 49ers go this route here and take a tackle in the NFL draft, it might bode well for CMC's fantasy value.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. If you see CMC, are you? Oh, I didn't know this. George Kittle seeking a new contract, or is he? Or he is. He wasn't at off-season workouts. You think he might be a holdout?
I don't know. I think it's too early to tell on that. I'm not worried about George Kittle. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. Dang, Jacksonville.
Because I don't see him as being the guy to hold out. Like I don't. What about the Jaguars?
I was just saying they like Ashton Genty, which is weird. Didn't they draft the running back last year?
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I don't think that was until after. It wasn't in the first round. It wasn't like a high draft pick. But now we got you at Cowboys.
Cowboys. All right, we're gonna probably fly through these next ones, guys. Let's go. Cowboys coming in. I think I just want to kind of get somebody to pair up with CeeDee Lamb. So I'm gonna draft a Matthew Golden because
building off of what we had there at the Sunday's mock draft.
Sunday. I'm just going off your pick from Sunday. I think it's a good deal. Like honestly, if they have a chance, if he falls out of the top 10 and they have him right there, why not? Why not? You got a chance to bolster up your offense.
Certainly.
Kind of replace what's his name that left. It's a receiver. Well, they've had a receiver leave, for the past 2 seasons. They had their second, their number 2 receiver leave. So this brings in a number 2 that could potentially become a number 1. Get you over any humps if there's any issues with CeeDee Lamb, coming up down the road. So,
hey, he's familiar with the area, played in Texas, so I think it'd be a good fit.
Yep. Yeah, he just has to move right up the road.
So I'm going to have for the Dolphins, I'm going to go them taking what?
What?
Oh, I thought you were still – I'm sorry. I didn't know if you were still talking or not.
I'm always talking.
Oh, my bad. Anyways, so the Dolphins will be taking the next available tackle, Memba something or other. Sorry, I butchered that name. I'm not – that's not my forte. Is
our man – Memba.
Tackle. Got to protect Tua. Yeah, got to protect Tua. You don't need him getting any more concussions. We don't need him getting locked out of the league. So give this guy some more protection. Give him more time to find Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, and Jonnu Smith. And giving some running lanes for Devon Achane so he can keep doing his thing from a year ago. So I think that's a good fit for the Dolphins. Not too flashy, not too flashy, but it gets the job done.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And then with the Colts, man, I mean, shoot. I mean, I think I'm just going to try to go Mason Graham. Just bolster up that defense.
Get him
Best
on
player
defense?
available. Yeah.
You didn't want to try
especially-
tight end?
Huh?
You didn't want to try tight end for the Colts? They give Anthony
No,
Richardson.
because I feel like they need to wait until they really know who their quarterback is before they start working on their offense. It sucks when you start getting these players in place and then they get mad because they don't even, they don't have time with a quarterback and then they want to leave by the time you get a quarterback. So I'd rather bolster my defense and try to build from that side out and then wait until I find a quarterback I like or love. So Mason Graham.
Yeah.
Defensive tackle out of Michigan. Michigan smashing it, man, with the draft picks.
Yeah, they got a lot of prospects here in this draft. So with the Falcons, I'm going to take the linebacker out of Georgia. I think that's Jalen Walker. I'm going to go him, give him some defensive, make this guy their future defensive captain there in the second layer of their defense, quarterbacking, getting stops and containing quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield and Bryce Young in the division, and really start giving the Falcons an identity on the defensive side of the ball and not just having this doormat of a defense bleeding points and bleeding yards to opposing teams and having their offense go into shootout mode.
Right, especially after seeing, what those Georgia players did in the Super Bowl, man. It'd be cool to see, the South, the NFC South going defensive heavy in the first couple rounds of the draft because, yeah, man, I think they've been trying to hit on the offense for so many years that you see it. Like, their defenses aren't built out on any of those teams. So I can take it. I see it.
Yeah, their defense has been hung out to dry for sure.
Yeah.
Cardinals, I know we were talking about on Sunday when we did that mock draft, but it's kind of interesting. What direction do you think they're going to go? I know Jordan had his pick there they had, but where would you go with the Cardinals here?
Yeah. So I would just probably focus on their line. Honestly, if you're going to put Kyler Murray on the spot, then I would probably want to put talent in front of him and make sure he can stay upright. So I'd probably look at that right guard. Probably something on the right side where so when he rolls out. But I mean, he does a great job of Kyler Murray is probably the best at staying upright in the pocket when rolling out,
extending those plays.
In the play, yeah. So, give him something big to kind of help him, kind of extend those plays. So, I would just probably look at that line and probably, let me see. Right, like thinking like just Gray Zabel.
I like Gray Zabel to be before you even clicked on him.
That's a big boy too. Yeah,
I think he's a great fit over there for Arizona to keep Kyler extending plays and help out that running game too because James Conner he's getting up there in age, so he needs as much help as he can finding lanes and getting into short yardage situations to get those first downs.
Yeah, so and we go with Gray Zabel out of North Dakota.
Now, here's interesting. So, as you know, the Bengals have not paid or extended Trey Hendrickson yet. And they usually like to get their guys in the draft. They don't like to bring them in and pay them. So, I'm going to go off of that track record, that roadmap with the Bengals. And I'm going to go ahead and take those offensive linemen. Okay, I was like, where is everybody else? I'm going to take Mike Green out of Marshall, defensive end. Just as a insurance policy in case if the talks don't go well for the Bengals as far as extending and re-signing Trey Hendrickson. They got this new future guy here that's got some great pass rushing ability and a high ceiling, and then he could really thrive being effective and impactful on their defense in the NFL because really it was the Bengals were pitiful. I mean, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, they had lights out kind of a year with T. Higgins and Chase Brown. I mean, they had a slow start to the year. That's why they ended up having, injuries were a factor, but a slow start equaled missing the playoffs just by a little bit. So I think any way they can clamp down on their defense and give a little pressure off of their offense and Joe Burrow and those guys, I think that'll be most beneficial and helpful for them to succeed in 2025.
Yeah. Oh, shoot, man. Your Wolves are playing right now. Maybe we'll just do one round.
Yes, sir.
Let's just do one round, wrap it up, and get to that. All right. So, yeah, with the Seahawks, man, I'm probably just going to go Jahdae Barron, go cornerback.
Really? You got to walk me through this one. Okay, because I don't know much about this Barron guy.
Well, this Barron guy is a cornerback out of Texas. So, like I said about my Texas players, they prove coming to the SEC that they're ready to go into big time and play.
I noticed that. You like your Texas guy.
I don't really like my Texas guy.
You sure you're a Gators fan?
Huh? What? I'm a Gators fan.
You sure you're a Gators guy?
Orange and blue. Through and through.
Yes, they don't have the March Madness.
Yeah, exactly. We got basketball right now. But anyway, yeah, no, I think he's coming in.
You feel like a defensive back is a need for the Seahawks over other positions?
Well, what other positions are you thinking? Because I mean, they addressed their wide receiver. They got their running back room filled. They brought in Sam Darnold, so their quarterback's good for now. Maybe their line, maybe they can get somebody for their line for sure. To help Sam Darnold, but I feel like you want to look at that defense and try to bolster that side of the ball up while you can, if you have a chance. There's so many options, so many players.
For sure.
Yeah.
So Buccaneers will reap what the Seahawks did not sow, and they will take their defensive player and go Shamar Stewart on the edge and get another pass rusher in there. You know, the Buccaneers are a great pass rushing defense. They got a pedigree there. They have a reputation, and they know how to identify the talent on the defensive side of the ball. And this guy, best playable player left on the board at this spot, and I feel they can't pass on him.
I like that. And then with that being said, I mean, and all these players, all those teams going in those directions, I mean, there's some good players that I feel like drop down. And then me being the Steelers, I'm like, oh, well, look at this. I'm going to go ahead and snatch up a Jackson Dart.
What?
Jackson Dart. Yeah, man. Jackson Dart, Lane Kiffin offense product. Just really, really, what's the word? Accurate, I guess you could say. He had 4,279 passing yards and 29 touchdowns in 2024. So, you know, he doesn't have the hype of a Cam Ward or Shador Sanders, but he's the third best quarterback, in my opinion, in this draft by a long shot. I don't think it's close between him and Jalen Milroe, as close as it is between Jalen and the next guy for sure. So I really like Jackson Dart. I think the Steelers need a quarterback. They need somebody that's going to come in and be really accurate.
Pick for the Broncos, though.
Huh? Oh, did I? Oh,
that's why I was so confused. I'm like, what are you doing, bro?
No. Well, you know what? The Broncos are like, let's get a backup for Bo Nix.
All right. Yeah. So here, I'll do the Steelers, but I'll pick as if I were the Broncos.
Oh gosh, I wasn't even paying attention. I guess I didn't even see the Broncos right there. I just saw the Steelers, and I was like, oh, let me just pick for the Steelers.
It's all good. It's all good. We'll just guys. Jackson Dart is going to the Steelers here.
And maybe we'll trade Jackson
Steelers,
Dart.
The Broncos traded picks. They traded picks.
Yeah. Can we do that?
Go. Oh, really? You're able to do it? Weird.
Oh. No. It's too late. It's not like the NBA.
That's totally fine. So we'll just draft the Steelers here as if they were the ones, taking Dart. And so the Steelers pick will be the Broncos pick. And then I will go for the Broncos. You can have, Quinshawn Junkins, running back.
Yay, I like it. I like it a lot. That is actually a solid.
I think that will help Bo Nix. Yeah, so it looks like it, but really flip those picks around, guys, and that's how it is. Sorry for the confusion there.
Sorry for the confusion.
So, Chargers said, what are the Chargers going?
Yeah, so Chargers gonna charge right into it, right? They need a defensive tackle, tight end, wide receiver, cornerback, a center.
I think they most their highest need to be a wide receiver, and not like to keep
Colston Loveland.
Oh, that's a good point. Did not think about that tight end because they got Tyler Conklin there and the Will Disley, but those guys aren't really game breakers. They're solid tight ends, but they're
I like Conklin. I like Disley too, actually.
Mm-hmm. But they don't have the type of ceiling like a Loveland could have.
Exactly. And Colston Loveland is arguably the Brock Bowers of this draft. So, or I guess Tyler Warren is technically, but I think Colston Loveland is probably the better tight end. Man, what's going on with your Wolves right now?
Oh, we don't know. We won't find out for a little bit.
Still early. All right, moving on. We got Green Bay.
Yeah, and I have them taking Iowa State wide receiver Jaden Higgins. They're gonna need that big. Ted McMillan went earlier in this draft. He's the number one wide receiver. I think this is the next wide receiver in the line that could be a wide receiver one in the NFL. And the Packers so desperately need it. They need some alpha to step up there and be the number one because the system that they're running out here with these beta wide receivers of Dobbs, Wicks, Heath, Watson, Reed, they're all good players. They've been effective for fantasy in one way or another at times, but Jaden Higgins paired him with Jordan Love in that offense, giving him a higher ceiling, and I think it would be a really good fit for the Packers taking him at that spot.
Nice. All right. Then we got another NFC North team picking after the Packers. We got the Minnesota Vikes. I think these guys probably need everything. You can nah. But defense, I feel like would be the way to go for the Vikings for sure. Specifically, it looks like the
protecting your rookie quarterback.
No, well, you'll get protected, but I'm gonna go Malachi Starks, safety out of Georgia.
Probably one of the best defensive players still remaining on the draft.
Yeah,
at this point, like that's a solid pick. That solidifies a good pass defense. I like it,
especially in a pass-heavy NFC North. So, I think that really helps out when it comes down to the wire. When you lose on a
shut down Jaden Higgins.
Yeah, shut down Jaden Higgins.
I like that. I can see that working for the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. He could watch a Laporta.
I would.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's a good player out of Georgia. I liked what he was doing in college. I think that's a great fit. And it's more of like a pick. It's not necessarily seems that much of a need for the Vikings. I mean, it's kind of best player for what they're looking for to get out of it, if that makes sense. They're still addressing a need, but like it's the best player on that side of the ball at that position. So Texans, I gotta do this. You sent a couple offensive linemen packing and trades and sent them elsewhere in the draft. You gotta protect CJ Stroud. So I'm gonna go. Who's still available here? Yeah, Josh Simmons, Ohio State tackle. You gotta do some sort of damage control and just do some sort of future build here for the Texans on the offensive line. I mean, you can't give up that much, talent on the offensive line and expect CJ Stroud to stay upright and being as productive as he was in his first year. So this will be a good pick for the Texans and retooling that offensive line.
All right, and then with the Rams, I mean, I think I'm going to follow suit of the Seahawks and just go Nick Imanwori, safety, South Carolina, another SEC product. Big body safety this time. Tall guy, has speed.
Okay.
NFL ready. It's got a 43-inch vertical. It looks like so. Pretty solid safety, ready to go and cover. Kind of the same way as with the safety out of the Vikings. In a pass heavy NFC West, can come in and be able to cover the likes of a can't think of anybody right now, but what's his name out of Seattle?
Jackson Smith and Jigba, or Ricky
yeah.
Purcell, or Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, Ricky Purcell is going to be pretty. Man, this dude came back from a gunshot wound, still played more games than
True, very true.
So, so it's still a pass heavy NFC West. So I can see them going out there secondary, shoring that up. They were a couple plays away, like you said. They were a couple plays away from going to the championship game. So defense wins championships.
The Eagles prove that to be true. I have I'm thinking here for the Ravens, it can go a number of ways. It can go, possibly take a wide receiver here to give someone Lamar Jackson another weapon on offense, but some inkling here is telling me they'll attack that defensive line, give them another pass rusher, and give them some more, because they're really good on defense already, but like just to add to that, have a good starter right away, plug and play. And I'm gonna go Mykel Williams out of Georgia. I think getting another edge rusher for them would be beneficial to reestablish or reasserting their dominance in the AFC North as a defensive powerhouse in the league, and just having another edge rusher to add to that rotation to really just strike the fear of God in the Steelers and the Bengals and the Browns of them whenever their quarterbacks decide to step back in the pocket, that they have another bad man to deal with. And I think Mykel Williams would fit that system and what John Harbaugh does over there in Baltimore.
Noise. I'll let you pick for the Lions.
You sure?
Yeah. And then I'll just do the last two.
Okay. All right. For the Lions, it's evident it's defense. What I would think they would do, but they've done well with what they've drafted in these past couple of years, taking Jahmyr Gibbs and Jamison Williams on offense and really, just getting the most value out of their picks, like the Jack Campbell, the Sam Laporta. Like they've just nailed the draft for the last couple of years or so in their picks. And I think right here, if you're the Lions, you kind of re-signed your guys in the offseason. You took care of your guys that you brought in and you've had there. And still, though, you need someone to help out Aiden Hutchinson on that line. And I'm going to go with Derek Harmon, Oregon, interior defensive lineman. I think that will help really start to shore up that need in the defensive line for the Lions. Lee McNeil is not going to be back right away. He's still recovering from that late season injury. And DJ Reader is getting up there in age. He doesn't have that same step as he once did. So I think this is a good building block to add to Aiden Hutchinson there on the defensive line and really start getting to that pass rusher more frequently and more consistently that they've been struggling with throughout the regular season last year. And we saw the Commanders pick them apart in the playoffs.
So who's your pick?
That's where I'd go for the Lions. Yeah, I have Derek Harmon out of Oregon.
Where is he at? Oh, defensive tackle. I don't know. I was looking at offensive players. Like, wait, why am I looking at offensive players?
Sorry,
No, I think that's pretty good. Commanders, man, I could just see the Commanders coming in. Gosh, kind of.
What do you think they struggled with last year? What do you think that was something that
Their
they needed to address?
They struggled with getting beat down by the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. So they need to have some people to stop that plethora of running attack or off. I don't even know what the attack was from the Eagles, but it came to life against
I could see them going with a linebacker and edge rusher for sure.
So I was going to say Jahad Campbell, linebacker, Alabama. Big guy, 6'2", 235. And then the Buffalo Bills, kind of same situation, man. You just saw them come in and lose a heartbreaker to the Chiefs every year in a row. I don't know for what the past all of Josh Allen's years. It's like he just can't be.
It seems that way,
yeah. So with that, I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go Nick Scourton, edge rusher out of Texas.
Nice young prospect. I like him.
Close it out. Yeah, man. So that was our draft, guys, coming back from pick 10. 11, Will Campbell to the 49ers. 12, Matthew Golden to the Cowboys. Armand Mimbu, 13 to the Dolphins. 14, Mason Graham to the Colts. And then 15, Jalen Walker to the Falcons. And then we went through the rest of the draft. So those of you guys that watched and followed with us, let us know how we did. It was just a mock draft that we'd like to see before the draft. I think it was pretty good. I think it fell together pretty how I believe it's going to kind of look, honestly.
It could go in one way or another, but, these are just our perspectives, our takes on the situation, what the NFL thinks of these guys and thinks of these players and how they fit on their rosters is entirely an unknown at this moment. And we'll find out on Thursday night what direction these teams are going to go with these players and who they're going to take and when. But as what these mock drafts are, they're just hypotheticals or, projections. But we'd like to see what could happen. And, it is what it is.
We the truth. It's all about the big D around here. Yo, we're going to take a promo really quick. Guys, hit that like button, hit that share button, tell your friends about us, right? And then we will be.
We'd appreciate that very much.
Please do it.
Hi, how are you?
Bring them things, bring them things. I call the plug, bring them things. I bring them things.
That's money. That's cash up.
Yo, that's money. That's Cash App. Use that code if you don't use Cash App.
If you do use Cash App, use our code if you don't have it already.
Yeah, if you don't, if you have it, if you use it, you can try to use a code. Just try it, see if it works. It might. But yeah, guys, that was our mock draft before the draft. What we think may happen, what we want to happen, or what we hope will happen, and we'll see what happens come this Thursday night. 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time when they start the draft kickoff. I know Justin will be partying out there in Minnesota.
Yes, sir. I'll be at the Bank Stadium and having a hell of a time yucking it up with a bunch of other football nerds such as myself.
There we go. I'll be getting off work myself and then getting ready to go to the bus stop and chop it up with you guys about this NBA playoffs. In which case, man, we got the Wolves right now. Going at it against the Lakers down big, and I can't even talk because when it comes to down, my Nuggets were down after last night's game because we lost. So, we're not down, tied up, but I expected us in 6. I still got Nuggets in 6, but it was just like, it's gonna be a fight. I'm expecting a fight with the Clippers. It's the same record, same team, in and out. I feel kind of same storylines for the most part. Only difference is we have our one championship to back it up. So I think that championship pedigree will carry us over the finish line, but we are going to get knocked down a couple of times, and I'm expecting it. I just don't understand why they got Russ being highlighted so much. It's like they're trying to highlight Russ for some reason, and I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Could the shoulder injury that MPJ sustained last night be more serious to why he's getting more attention? Or
no, well, that was before. That was after they had
Mm-hmm.
highlighted Russ. They were not going to bring Russ back in, I believe, for the rest of the game until MPJ decided he had to get out with his shoulder hurting in the fourth quarter. I don't think Russ would have came back in at the end of the game. I think they were planning to keep MPJ in there for a shooting. But Russ, I mean, he had some decent shots. It's just I'm tired of him, Murray, and MPJ, man. I'm not tired of Russ. Actually, I like Russ. I'm tired of MPJ and Murray. I'm just over MPJ having this, 9-point nights. Murray has been decent, but then his lackadaisical performances when he just like threw the ball and like I think it's like the beginning of the fourth quarter, just like threw the ball towards Russ. Like it was should have been a half court pass, and he threw it like Russ was right in front of him. It's like, what's going on, man? Like this is the playoffs. You can't have any lapses at all, especially when it's that close and standings. I can see if it's like the 1 against the 8, but it's not. It's the 4 against the 5. We're the same teams, through and through. So it's gonna be a dogfight, and I wasn't worried about the loss last night, but I just feel like we still could have won that too. And then, like you were saying, Aaron Gordon misses that dunk. Joker goes 0-2. I think he misses more free throws than that, but he was 0-2 at one point at the free throw line. Little things like that. We missed 8 free throws overall as a team. You got Peyton Watson out there taking threes. You got Russ taking threes. We don't have any shooters around the Joker. We don't have any true 3-and-D players. That's what KCP was. That's why players like that were good. Christian Brown is just like a young Russell Westbrook, quite honestly. And Russ was probably the worst player to bring in to mentor him because now he's just gonna pick up that sporadic type of play that Russ plays with. That's very super undisciplined, man. And it's not what the Nuggets need. The Nuggets are super fluid team. If you see, they play like Wata. You know what I mean? They're like the new age Spurs, man. They play like a team, and when Russ comes onto the court, then it's all about what Russ is doing, and it kind of just changes everything. Which, granted, I guess they do need a kick, but not like that. That's why it's different. You have people like a playoff Jimmy, right? You have like a playoff LeBron, players that up their game, playoff Murray, but they're not. They up their game and do what they do, and they do it much better. You know what I mean? They're not just, just throwing up prayers every single time they touch. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not talking trash about Rush. It's just weird.
There's some concerns in his game. That's for sure evident. And, I think with that series, it's going to go to probably 7 games, and the last team standing is probably going to be the better one. So it's just going to be a dogfight, and can't miss your free throws. Can't miss your opportunities, and you got to be more defensively sound against a team that's equally as defensively structured as the Nuggets.
What though?
You got to be able to counter punch the punch.
It's been the best. I think it's been the best 2 games of the playoffs so far.
Yeah, I mean the Grizzlies series with OKC has been highly disappointing.
Man, the Grizzlies have been getting mollywobbed. Like, why are they even in the playoffs? That's just my opinion.
Yeah, it does make you wonder, but they beat out Dallas, so it is what it is.
But would Dallas have been any better? We talked about the East being more top heavy than the West, and it's like maybe the West may be just as top heavy. You look at it like once you get past, maybe even the Timberwolves, honestly, at like 6, then it's like, I don't know so much. You're looking at the Warriors, like, okay, yeah, they got Curry, a legend. They got Jimmy, maybe a Hall of Famer, right? Is Jimmy Butler a Hall of Famer? What do you think?
Not to me, no.
That's what I'm saying. So once you look past the Timberwolves, and I say the Timberwolves because you got the best 3-point shooter from the season on their team in Anthony Edwards, right? You got, defensive, multi-defensive player of the year and Rudy Gobert. You got, Julius Randle, who's multi-all-star in his own right. So they have a solid squad, and then you look past that and it's like, well, what really do we have? Because I mean, Memphis is getting dusted. I mean, granted, Golden State's beating the Rockets, but it's like, man, the Rockets just got there because teams don't take the regular season as serious all the time. So then
when you have that many games lead in the the West like the Thunder do, it's kind of like easy to take the foot off the gas
and just let it ride until you get to the playoffs, right? So then you get teams like the Rockets who shoot up and they're number 2 team, and they just go into the playoffs and get dusted because they don't have any shooters themselves. But anyway, neither here nor there. I just feel like the Nuggets just don't have any shooters. They just don't have the right team built around the Joker. Like the team we have, we should at least have Golden State built around the Joker right now, right? We've had the luxury. See, that's the thing. Like that's why we fired the GM, because we spent too many time after winning the championship thinking we needed to go back and retool and rebuild, when it was like, no, now is when you need to go all in. You've won the championship. You're not trying to win a championship now. Now you're trying to sustain greatness. Now you're trying to keep a legacy. Look what Golden State did. They went and got Kevin Durant. They didn't need Kevin Durant. Well, they did need Kevin Durant. They're going to beat LeBron. but you know what I mean? Like, they didn't need him to get back to the championship. They could have still gotten through the West and gotten back to the championship and played the Cavs without him. But they had the luxury because they've already gotten the championship. So now they have the luxury of being like, why not? Right? Why not do something really good to see what the outcome could be? And the Nuggets went the opposite direction and was like, oh, well, I'm afraid I'm going to make the wrong pick, so I'm going to try to draft some people. And it's like, who cares about draft picks? If they're good, we'll find out and we'll get them on the team. I don't know. Especially when you don't have early draft picks. If you're not picking in the lottery, why are you? So if you just win a championship and you're picking at the end of the draft, why do you care about what your draft picks are? You know what I mean? So it was just stupid.
Well, yeah, that's one way to look at it. Or you just gotta be like, we have to.
When you're already in the luxury tax too, because you're paying Murray, you're paying MPJ, you're paying Aaron Gordon, you're paying the Joker. So it's like you're already in the luxury tax. So why not just get one? I don't know. Whatever.
It kind of seems like it kind of sounds like that the Nuggets overcompensated with their roster build and their roster development after they won their championship, and then now they're starting to
because it was stupid because Tim Connolly
rearing of its ugly head with some of the draft picks.
Yeah, well, because Tim Connolly built the team, right? And then what's his name wanted to come in and put his stamp on it, but he couldn't get rid of that team that Tim Connolly put together because they won a championship. So he had to come in and try some other way. So he tried to build a team inside of the team, which was completely stupid, completely dumb, because now we're stuck with half a team of players that should have been gone a long time ago, but they're there because they're the only veteran presence we have for the playoffs. And then another group of players that have never been there before, and all they know what to do is watch these guys that spent their entire career clawing. So they're told they have to claw and stretch and climb to get there, when it's like, no, they shouldn't. The rookies coming in should just be sliding in whenever they play. It should be easy minutes because they're just coming into a championship level organization, and it's not like that. We're playing more. I heard yesterday, I think it was on ESPN, they were saying the Nuggets are the worst team in the playoffs. And that's when you got teams, like the play-in teams, the Heat, you got the Grizzlies getting blown out, and they're saying, no, it's the Nuggets that are the worst team in the playoffs. Because when the Joker sits, we're like minus 895 million. Like, it's a completely different team when the Joker sits.
Or maybe that's just because the Denver Nuggets themselves and the league just have higher expectations for a team that's won a championship as recently as they have. Toronto, and when they see them struggle, they hold them to a.
Where's Toronto at? And supposedly a weak East. Where's Toronto at? They won a championship 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Haven't seen them back since. It'll forget about you real quick.
It's hard.
How are your Timberwolves doing, man?
I am thinking not probably doing so hot. I've taken a peek here or there on the phone every once in a while, but I've not been locked into the game at all. We are here.
Is Anthony Edwards playing?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't be playing.
Oh, he only has 6 points. Oh, yeah, just started. It's still in the second quarter. He don't start until the fourth quarter anyway. That's how I feel. See, that's what I'm saying. Like the Timberwolves, man, they got a squad because they got, players that can hold it down and really wait, and then your superstar can come in and play in the fourth quarter. That's how it's supposed to be. You shouldn't have to be bailing you out the entire game. I don't know. Murray did hit some good shots last night, but he also had some stupid plays, man. MPJ tried to hit some good shots, was doing good until he got hurt. And he had 15 offensive rebounds. Or let me see if I can pull up the stats for that game. Man, it was a good game. And the whole time, it's just, but I just knew, man. I don't know. I just felt, I don't know. It's just weird. It's gonna be a heavyweight.
It was entertaining.
Back and forth. It's a fight back and forth. Man, you got freaking Superman Kawhi. Kawhi only missed what, like 4 shots last night?
Yeah, he was very efficient with his minutes and his shot selection.
15 of 19. He had 39 points. Bro, he was like hitting everything he threw up. He'd close his eyes, throw a ball behind his head, he'd make the shot. And then we were at home. I don't even want to talk about the refs. I'm not even gonna go down that route. That was frustrating. Some of those calls, man. Just the call. Oh man, the Joker hit his elbow. What the heck? It's just some calls that even as they're showing the replay, the announcer didn't even talk about it because they knew it wasn't a foul. They just keep going. It's ridiculous.
Sounds like playoff basketball, and it's worse.
It is playoff basketball, man. You see that play when Murray picked up Powell? When like Powell was about to, oh man, he was about to hit a nasty 3 over Murray, and Murray slid, just grabbed him and picked him up. He was about, oh man.
I don't remember exactly what the call ended up being, but it
was a foul.
Yeah,
it was a common foul on Murray, and then it was a technical on Braun.
Oh, common foul.
Powell, and then someone else got a technical. And then Murray ends up shooting a free throw. So I guess that makes up for all the crap calls we got. I guess it goes both ways.
Right.
But yeah, that was about to be a top 10, an ESPN top 10 play. He wouldn't have picked him up because that was definitely shook him out his boots right there situation.
Yeah, it makes you worried about Jamal's defensive prowess at times.
I know.
I understand it was late in the game, so
yeah. Aaron Gordon's hurt. We're gonna have to. That's what I'm saying. We're depending on players like Jamal Murray for offense. Why you got to depend on your point guard for defense? I don't know. It sucks, man. I hope they can make it to the second round so they hire Adelman because I do like Adelman. I think he is good to keep.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I mean he's not doing anything to destroy the team. I think he's.
No.
I mean he's had to pick up the pieces with a week going into the playoffs. Like he didn't have all season to run and lead a team.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I mean, I understand he was on the coaching staff, so he played a part, but he wasn't the one that was directing and calling the shots. He was only adhering to the.
Yeah. So I like it. And I mean, it's what I wanted when I said it's what I want for a coach. I want a young coach that's just coming into his own. I don't want somebody that's trying to prove himself or maybe pick up and try to get back into a coaching position somewhere else or prove somebody wrong. I want somebody that's coming to his own and knows what's up, like knows that Joker is the man and his team. You know what I mean? I don't want somebody that's gonna come in and, well, this is my team. I've done this for 45 years. You know what I mean? So I think it'd be good to keep with him or someone like him. He knows what he's doing. He knows the team. So the chemistry's there, right? So I like it. But yeah, no, I don't like the fact that we are dependent on the likes of granted he came in, we won the championship, it was a good story, but we weren't dependent on Christian Braun. He wasn't the main story. And oh man, it's just grinding my gears. I'm just, I'm just going off on it. And
Thursday can't come soon enough.
Huh?
Thursday can't come soon enough for the Nuggets to redeem themselves.
They can't because, man, like, it's, it was David Adelman's first loss, though, since he took over from Malone. So they say the playoffs don't start till a home team loses, and I knew one of these home teams are going to have to lose to make it a series, and that just means we got to go into their home and take one. So I feel confident we can go in there and do that just as easily, too. So it's not like they exactly have, world beaters outside of Harden and Leonard either. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, Batum, it's like, man, that dude's shot is like, it's like a freaking trampoline. They just throw him the ball, and all you see is the ball just bounce back towards the rim. He doesn't pull back. He doesn't dribble or nothing. He just like volleyballs it back into the rim, his threes are so slick, so smooth. It's
totally different sport.
Huh? It is a different sport. It's wild. It looks like a volleyball volley the way he does it. It's hard to, and I'm mad at how undisciplined the Nuggets look on defense. I feel like all you see is when the Nuggets are in defense, around the goal is just see the Nuggets players just running and following the ball. And you literally like go watch the highlights. You see like everywhere the ball goes, there's 2 to 3 Nuggets players following behind it, and then next thing you know, there's an open 3-pointer in the corner. It's like, why don't you just stay with your man? Why are you leaving Kawhi? Why are you leaving Kawhi Leonard open? Come on, Christian Brown. First off, this is one of the top 5 best NBA players in the world, and you're just gonna leave him wide open. Stupid.
Yeah, I mean that's just the level of Christian Braun and where he's at right now in his career. I mean, he's not a superstar by any means. He's not an all-star, but he's a pro and he's in the playoffs, so it's really gonna,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Christian Brown he was the most efficient 3-point shooter this year in the league. So we got some, I think we have the best fast break offense in the league. It's just they just got away from it after the first quarter. I mean, you saw Jalen Pickett hitting open threes. We were doing what the Clippers were doing to us in the fourth quarter. Yeah,
well, a lot of the game was just mirrored and it just got away. I think the tipping point was missing the free throws. I think you missed like 8 or 9 free throws. So, and you only lost by 2 points. So I think Adelman covered that pretty concisely in the post game about how they need to capitalize on free points. So when you get free throws, you got to make them.
Or if you get an open dunk, you got to make it. You can't.
Yes.
Especially if you're the best dunker in the league.
What's ironic too? Isn't he like a slam dunk champ competition person too? At one point,
he was like one of the best dunkers in the league. It's just hurt. He's just hurt.
For your benefit, though, I don't think he does that again. I don't think that happens again. So
yeah, those 2 days off. They needed 2 days off. So today and then they come back tomorrow or Thursday and ready to get back at it. So it'll be to the benefit. Go out to LA. You know what I mean? It's a little lower altitude, not so high, so you're closer to the beach.
Careful, the lights are also just as bright out there too.
Yeah, but maybe the salt water and the salty, that salt in the air, maybe it'll help, those bones loosen up just a bit. You know what I mean? The air is not as thin as it is out here, so maybe that'll help out. Man, what's going on with your Timberwolves right now? It's like the Lakers heard everybody saying what team they have, and they just came out ready to mollywop the Timberwolves. We'll see. It's still early though. That's the thing. They're swagging. They see they get tired. Luka stops playing defense. That's the thing.
You want the game is 4 quarters.
Out. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. But yeah, man. Anything you want to talk about with your Wolves? That was a good win, man, from last week. Let me tell you, that was a statement.
Yeah, that was a good punch in the mouth, but I like to just wait to hold my comments until after the game so I can get a real fair evaluation of what is going on and what happened.
Well, I'll evaluate. They're getting mollywop right now. I'll tell you that much. It's pretty.
It definitely helps when you got a sixth man on the court.
Who's on the court?
The
Bronny?
refs.
Oh, Bronny too. They go put Bronny out there here soon. Ooh, bro, Randall's sick with it. This dude just came out of nowhere. I don't know how the Knicks let him go. That was dumb. That's like Shy going to OKC. Like, how are you? Gosh. You know what though? I'll tell you what though, man. Everybody, and I talk trash too, Luka, blah, blah, blah. They beat the Wolves last year, blah, blah, blah. That's the thing about it though, man. Like with these professionals, right? They get paid a lot of money. So what do you got? Ant-Man probably got like some freaking some of those virtual reality goggles just watching Luka game all season, man.
That would
Once
be
a
wild.
week. Because they are playing Luka pretty darn good, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They're letting him do his thing, but
it'll be another dogfight, but
yeah,
it's only game one, and for you guys, it was only game two. It's I feel like both.
Yeah, but you called the sweep
series.
though. You said you're gonna pull the brooms out. Y'all are supposed to handle the Lakers for us, bro.
It's still being worked on. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day. We'll just do it in 4.
Ooh, that's sick with it. Okay. Y'all got spunked though.
Mm-hmm. Any final thoughts on the NFL draft coming up? What are you guys going to be covering over there on the bus stop and whatnot going forward into Thursday?
Yeah, I feel like by the time we start, we'll probably be a little bit closer to the Broncos draft. Probably not. They'll probably be like in the first, still in the first 10, because we started at 6. Well, no, we started at 6. Draft starts at 4, so they might actually be like around the Broncos pick, if not.
It should be pretty damn close if you time it right.
Yeah.
Like if it lines up.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about it for sure. We'll be touching in on what the draft picks were and kind of giving our reaction to it. But we'll mostly be talking about the playoffs as we do over on the bus stop, and then whatever local music we can pull up for the episode. So yeah, it should be fun. Guys, come join us Thursday night for the bus stop.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's all I got for here tonight. Really enjoyed doing the mock draft and covering some basketball here, and looking forward to the NFL draft on Thursday night as it rolls around. And we get closer and closer to our league drafts. Dynasty leagues will be having their rookie drafts following the NFL draft, and then
when's our league draft?
Mocking for the 32-team Dynasty League. Yes, we'll be having it at the beginning of May, and then there's a number of other leagues I'm in that also have their rookie drafts happening after the NFL draft.
Nice. Yes, sir.
For Dynasty leagues, for redraft, we can start mocking more concisely with because we know where everybody's at and which teams they fell to and where they will be.
There we go. Yeah, guys, and then come back and join us Sunday night. We'll be doing our reactions to the first round. Well, I guess, to the draft pretty much. The whole draft should be pretty much over by the time we roll around Sunday night. So we'll be doing our reactions to the NFL draft and letting you know what we think about it and how our teams did, and have some breakdowns for you. So come back and join us here on Fantasy Report, 7 p.m. Same place, same time, every Sunday and Tuesday. Got anything else, JT?
No, just if you're new tonight, tune in with us. Thank you. We appreciate it. If you could hit the like and follow and subscribe to us, that would be helpful for us in the network. Helps us get pushed out there in the algorithms, gets us more feedback So it'd be greatly appreciated. I really thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to check us out on our socials, we got the Discord server, and we have a Facebook channel group over there too. We put up content, update regularly to keep all the news and whatnot flowing. And yeah, essentially just keep tuning in with us. We'll keep putting out content, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.
Yes, sir. You heard him. Have a good one, guys. Hit that like button. Don't forget to set a reminder. Come back with us. Have a good night.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.